The GMC Hummer XUV and Hummer X pickup concepts represent one of the most ambitious design studies General Motors has revealed in recent years. At first glance, they appear to be scaled-down versions of the already massive Hummer EV lineup. But that simple assumption does not do them justice. These concepts are not just about size reduction or styling updates. Instead, they represent a complete rethinking of what a mid-size electric off-road vehicle can be, how it can be built, and how it can evolve over time. While they carry the familiar Hummer identity, everything from their structure to their technology has been reimagined with experimentation at its core. Unlike the current production Hummer EV, SUV and pickup, which focus heavily on size, power, and extreme capability, the Hummer X concepts shift attention toward adaptability and modular design. GMC has positioned these vehicles as design exercises rather than production-ready models, but the ideas behind them are anything but ordinary. They explore a future where vehicles are not fixed products but flexible platforms that can be reconfigured depending on use, environment, and personal preference. In many ways, the Hummer X is less about what it is today, and more about what vehicles could become tomorrow. One of the most noticeable differences in the Hummer X concepts is their size. The SUV version rides on a wheelbase of 116 inches and measures around 188 inches in overall length. These dimensions place it firmly in the mid-size off-road category, closer to vehicles like the Ford Bronco and Jeep Wrangler than the oversized Hummer EV SUV. Despite its smaller footprint, the design still carries the bold and aggressive stance expected from a Hummer, with short overhangs, wide proportions, and a high ground clearance that signals serious off-road intent. The pickup version follows a similar philosophy, maintaining the rugged identity of the brand while reducing overall size compared to its production counterpart. With a wheelbase of 130.7 inches and an overall length of just over 217 inches, it is still a substantial vehicle, but far more manageable in tight environments than the full-size Hummer EV pickup. This scaling down is not just about practicality. It reflects a broader design direction, focused on making off-road capability more accessible without sacrificing performance or presence. Despite the reduction in size, GMC has ensured that the Hummer X concepts remain highly capable off-road machines. The SUV rides on massive 37-inch Goodyear tires mounted on the 18-inch aluminum wheels with beadlock functionality. These beadlock wheels are designed to mechanically secure the tire to the rim using a bolted outer ring, preventing the tire from slipping during low-pressure off-road driving conditions. This feature is commonly found in extreme off-road vehicles and highlights the serious capability intentions behind the concept. The suspension system is equally advanced, featuring multimatic dampers that are designed to handle extreme terrain while maintaining control and stability. Combined with a low center of gravity provided by the electric platform, the Hummer X is engineered to maintain composure even in highly uneven environments. The approach, departure, and breakover angles further reinforce this capability, allowing the SUV to tackle steep inclines and obstacles with confidence. Ground clearance is another standout feature. At over 13 inches, the SUV sits high enough to clear significant obstacles without compromising stability. This balance between clearance and control is a defining characteristic of the Hummer X design philosophy. It is not just about extreme numbers on paper, but about how those numbers translate into real-world off-road performance. The exterior design language of the Hummer X also introduces several new ideas that differentiate it from the production Hummer EV models. While it still retains the recognizable Hummer identity, including its bold front fascia and squared proportions, it incorporates a more refined and functional aesthetic. The surfaces are cleaner, the edges more controlled, and the overall form appears more purpose-driven than decorative. One of the most distinctive design elements is the use of flex-fab manufacturing principles, which influence both form and function. This approach allows components to be produced using flexible, small, batch metal fabrication methods rather than traditional large-scale stamping processes. As a result, the vehicle can support a higher degree of customization and variation in design without requiring entirely new tooling for each version. This opens the door to a future where multiple variations of the same vehicle can be produced more efficiently and with greater flexibility. The concept also introduces visible mechanical elements as part of its aesthetic identity. Instead of hiding structural details, the Hummer X embraces them. Laser, welded seams, exposed precision fasteners, and clean panel transitions all contribute to a design that feels engineered rather than styled. This approach gives the vehicle a sense of honesty, where its construction method becomes part of its visual character. Inside, the Hummer X continues its theme of adaptability and innovation. The cabin is designed around a flexible digital interface system that allows drivers to customize their display layout based on their driving needs. Rather than relying on a fixed dashboard screen configuration, the concept features stackable displays that can be added or removed depending on the situation. This means the interior can be configured for everyday driving, long-distance travel, or extreme off-road exploration. For example, a minimal setup might include only essential driving information and navigation data. However, when venturing off-road, additional screens can be introduced to display terrain mapping, camera feeds, and real-time vehicle diagnostics. This modular approach to digital interfaces is a significant departure from traditional automotive design, where infotainment systems are fixed and uniform across all driving conditions. Beyond the screens, the interior also reflects the same design philosophy of modularity and sustainability found in the exterior. Materials are chosen with recyclability and longevity in mind. Components are designed to be easily disassembled, repaired, or replaced rather than permanently bonded together. This allows for greater flexibility in maintaining and upgrading the vehicle over time. Another important aspect of the Hummer X concept is its emphasis on sustainability through material selection and construction methods. Instead of relying heavily on adhesives, the design favors mechanical fasteners and snap-fit connections. This not only makes assembly more efficient, but also improves the recyclability of individual components at the end of their life cycle. Parts can be separated cleanly, reducing waste and enabling reuse in other applications. Certain interior elements are made from recycled automotive materials, including repurposed car fascias used in seatbacks, headrests, and dashboard components. This approach highlights a broader vision of circular design, where materials are continuously reused rather than discarded. It is an attempt to reduce environmental impact while maintaining durability and quality. The Hummer X concepts also introduce subtle details that reflect the design team's philosophy and creative identity. Hidden within the vehicle are symbolic elements such as Morse code embedded in floor patterns, as well as tire tread designs that convey messages about exploration and discovery. These small touches add depth to the concept and reinforce its adventurous spirit. At its core, the GMC Hummer X SUV and pickup concepts are not just about showcasing new vehicles. They are about exploring how far automotive design can be pushed when traditional constraints are removed. By focusing on modularity, adaptability, and sustainability, GMC has created a foundation for ideas that could influence future vehicle development across the industry. While these concepts may never reach production, their impact lies in the possibilities they reveal rather than the products they become. Beyond its physical design and modular interior systems, the GMC Hummer X concept introduces a much broader technological ecosystem that redefines how drivers interact with their vehicles. One of the most forward-thinking elements is the Hummer Hub system, a suite of connected applications designed to enhance every stage of the driving experience. This system is not limited to infotainment or navigation. Instead, it acts as a full digital companion that connects the driver, the vehicle, and the surrounding environment in real time. At the center of the Hummer Hub concept is a Scout drone system. This small autonomous drone is designed to launch from the vehicle and fly ahead on trails or difficult terrain. Its purpose is to gather real-time environmental data and transmit it back to the vehicle. This includes identifying obstacles, mapping safe routes, and providing aerial perspectives of terrain that may not be visible from the driver's seat. Once its task is complete, the drone can automatically return and dock itself in a designated compartment on the vehicle. This level of integration between aerial and ground mobility highlights how future off-road exploration could become significantly safer and more informed. The introduction of drone-assisted driving support also reflects a shift in how vehicles may interact with their environment in the future. Rather than relying solely on onboard sensors and cameras, the Hummer X expands perception beyond the physical boundaries of the vehicle. This creates a multi-layered awareness system that combines ground-level data with aerial intelligence. In challenging environments such as mountain trails, rocky terrain, or desert landscapes, this capability could dramatically improve situational awareness and decision-making. Another key aspect of the Hummer Hub system is its emphasis on community connectivity. GMC has designed the Hummer X with what it calls the builder-maker mindset. This concept refers to drivers who do not simply use their vehicles as transportation, but actively modify, personalize, and share their experiences with others. The digital ecosystem supports this culture by allowing users to exchange configurations, share route data, and interact with a broader network of enthusiasts. This community-driven approach extends the life of the vehicle beyond individual ownership. Instead of being a static product, the Hummer X becomes part of a continuously evolving ecosystem where knowledge, modifications, and experiences are shared. It reflects a growing trend in the automotive world where vehicles are becoming more connected and socially integrated. In addition to its digital innovations, the Hummer X also explores radical new ideas in manufacturing. One of the most significant of these is the flex fab production system. Traditional automotive manufacturing relies on fixed tooling, large-scale stamping processes, and highly standardized production lines. While efficient, this approach limits flexibility and makes customization expensive and time-consuming. Flex fab challenges this model by introducing a more adaptable method of manufacturing. It functions as a small batch, on-demand production system for metal components, similar in concept to advanced additive manufacturing, but applied to vehicle-scale structures. Instead of requiring dedicated stamping tools for each design variation, Flex Fab allows multiple configurations to be produced using the same underlying system. This opens up the possibility of highly customizable vehicles being manufactured without the traditional constraints of mass production. The implications of this system are significant. If implemented at scale, it could allow manufacturers to offer a far wider range of design options without increasing production complexity. Customers could potentially select or modify structural components in ways that are not possible with current manufacturing methods. This would fundamentally change the relationship between consumers and vehicle design, shifting it from fixed product ownership to continuous customization. Visually, the influence of Flex Fab can be seen throughout the Hummer X design. The vehicle features a clean, functional aesthetic defined by flat surfaces, smooth radiused edges, and precise structural detailing. Rather than hiding its construction, the design emphasizes it. Laser-welded seams are visible, mechanical fasteners are intentionally exposed, and body panels appear engineered for function rather than ornamentation. This creates a design language that feels both modern and mechanically honest. The concept's design also reflects a shift toward more sustainable production practices. By eliminating adhesives wherever possible and replacing them with mechanical fastening systems, the Hummer X becomes easier to disassemble and recycle. This approach supports a circular economy model, where materials can be reused rather than discarded. Components can be separated at the end of their life cycle, allowing materials to be recovered and repurposed more efficiently. Sustainability is further emphasized through the use of mono-material construction. Instead of combining multiple materials in a single component, designers aim to use single-material parts wherever possible. This simplifies recycling processes and reduces contamination in material recovery streams. Interior components such as seatbacks, headrest structures, and dashboard elements are made from recycled automotive materials, reinforcing the idea that waste from one vehicle can become the foundation of another. Even small design details contribute to this broader philosophy. Hidden throughout the vehicle are subtle messages and symbolic elements that reflect the design team's ethos. Morse code patterns embedded in floor surfaces convey the team's guiding mantra, while tire tread designs include phrases celebrating exploration and discovery. These details may not impact performance, but they reinforce the narrative behind the vehicle's creation. The Hummer X also demonstrates how advanced engineering can support extreme off-road performance in a mid-size platform. Despite its reduced dimensions compared to the production Hummer EV lineup, the concept maintains impressive capability. Its suspension system, combined with high-performance off-road components, allows it to handle challenging environments with confidence. The vehicle's geometry is carefully optimized for off-road use. Short overhangs improve approach and departure angles, while a relatively long wheelbase ensures stability on uneven terrain. The balance between compact size and capability is one of the most important achievements of the design. It shows that extreme off-road performance does not necessarily require oversized vehicles. Inside the cabin, the flexibility of the digital interface system continues to stand out. The stackable display concept allows drivers to adapt the interior environment to specific use cases. This modular approach to information delivery is particularly valuable in off-road situations, where different types of data may be required depending on terrain conditions. For example, navigation, terrain mapping, camera feeds, and system diagnostics can all be prioritized or rearranged as needed. This level of customization extends the idea of modularity beyond physical components and into the digital experience. Just as body panels and interior materials can be adapted, so too can the information architecture of the vehicle. This creates a unified design philosophy where both hardware and software are equally flexible. The integration of technology, sustainability, and adaptability in the Hummer X concept reflects a broader shift in automotive thinking. Vehicles are no longer being designed solely as transportation devices. Instead, they are increasingly viewed as platforms for experience, exploration, and personalization. The Hummer X embodies this shift by combining rugged off-road capability with a highly configurable and intelligent system architecture. Although the Hummer X will not enter production, its influence lies in the ideas it introduces. Concepts like drone-assisted navigation, modular digital dashboards, flexible manufacturing systems, and circular material usage could all find their way into future vehicles in some form. Automotive concepts often serve as laboratories for innovation, and the Hummer X is a clear example of this role in action. As the automotive industry continues to evolve, concepts like the Hummer X highlight the direction of future development. Vehicles will likely become more adaptable, more connected, and more sustainable. They will move away from static ownership models and toward dynamic systems that evolve over time. In this sense, the Hummer X is not just a concept vehicle. It is a preview of possibilities that may shape the next generation of mobility. The GMC Hummer X concept reaches its most ambitious ideas when you step back and look at it as a complete vision, rather than just a vehicle. It is not trying to predict a single future model or a direct successor to the current Hummer EV lineup. Instead, it acts as a testbed for multiple directions at once, combining design experimentation, manufacturing innovation, digital transformation, and sustainability into a single platform. This is why the Hummer X feels less like a finished product, and more like a collection of possibilities. One of the most important aspects of the Hummer X project is how it redefines the relationship between structure and flexibility. Traditional vehicles are designed around fixed architectures where every component has a defined place and function. The Hummer X challenges this by introducing the idea that many elements can be interchangeable or adaptable over time. This includes exterior components like fender flares and body panels, as well as interior elements such as screens, storage modules, and trim sections. This level of adaptability is made possible through a combination of new design, thinking, and advanced manufacturing concepts. The FlexFab system plays a central role in this transformation. By reducing dependence on traditional stamping tools and rigid production lines, it enables a more fluid approach to building vehicles. In theory, this could allow manufacturers to produce variations of the same vehicle that differ not only in features, but also in structural configuration. While this remains conceptual, it points toward a future where automotive design becomes far more responsive to individual needs. The exterior design of the Hummer X reflects this philosophy in subtle but important ways. The vehicle has a distinctly functional appearance, defined by clean surfaces, visible fastening points, and a lack of unnecessary decoration. Every element appears to serve a purpose, whether it is structural, aerodynamic, or functional. Even the proportions of the vehicle communicate intent. The short overhangs, wide stance, and elevated ride height are all optimized for off-road performance rather than aesthetic convention. At the same time, the design retains a strong sense of identity. It is unmistakably part of the Hummer family, with bold proportions and a commanding presence. However, it also introduces a more refined and controlled visual language compared to the oversized and heavily sculpted production Hummer EV models. This balance between ruggedness and refinement is one of the most striking aspects of the concept. Inside the vehicle, the idea of adaptability becomes even more pronounced. The stackable display system allows the interior layout to change depending on the driver's needs. This is not just about adding more screens, but about fundamentally rethinking how information is presented in a vehicle. Instead of a fixed interface, the Hummer X offers a modular digital environment where the driver can prioritize different types of data at different times. In a typical driving scenario, a minimal configuration might be used to reduce distraction. However, in off-road conditions, the interior can be transformed into a fully immersive information hub. Terrain mapping, camera feeds, navigation overlays, and system diagnostics can all be displayed simultaneously. This flexibility ensures that the vehicle can adapt not only to different environments, but also to different driving styles. Another defining feature of the Hummer X is its integration of autonomous support systems, particularly the Scout drone. This technology represents a significant step forward in off-road assistance. By extending the vehicle's awareness beyond its physical boundaries, the drone provides a level of foresight that traditional sensors cannot match. It can identify obstacles hidden beyond the driver's line of sight, evaluate terrain difficulty, and suggest alternative routes in real time. The ability for the drone to autonomously return and dock itself further emphasizes the seamless integration of technology within the vehicle ecosystem. It is not treated as an external accessory, but as a fully integrated component of the driving experience. This type of system could redefine how exploration vehicles operate in remote or challenging environments, where visibility and situational awareness are critical. The Hummer Hub ecosystem also plays a key role in shaping the overall experience of the vehicle. By connecting drivers to a broader digital network, it transforms ownership into participation. Users are not just operating a vehicle, They are engaging with a community of explorers, builders, and modifiers. This social dimension adds a new layer of value to the concept, turning it into a shared platform rather than an isolated product. This idea of shared experience is closely tied to the builder-maker philosophy that influenced the Hummer X design. In this vision, users are encouraged to customize and evolve their vehicles over time, sharing modifications and experiences with others. The vehicle becomes a living platform that grows and adapts based on collective input from its user community. This is a significant departure from traditional automotive ownership models, where vehicles remain largely unchanged after purchase. Sustainability is another pillar of the Hummer X concept, and it is addressed not just through powertrain electrification, but through material and lifecycle design. The use of mono-material components simplifies recycling processes and reduces environmental impact. Mechanical fasteners replace adhesives wherever possible, allowing components to be disassembled cleanly at the end of their life cycle. This approach supports a circular economy model, where materials are continuously reused rather than discarded. The inclusion of recycled automotive materials in interior components further reinforces this philosophy. By repurposing existing vehicle materials, the design reduces reliance on new raw resources while demonstrating how waste can be transformed into functional and aesthetic elements. This approach reflects a broader shift in the automotive industry toward more responsible and sustainable design practices. Even the smallest details of the Hummer X contribute to its overall narrative. Hidden messages in Morse code, symbolic tire tread designs, and subtle design references all serve to reinforce the concept's identity. These elements may not affect performance or functionality, but they add depth and personality to the vehicle. They also reflect the creativity of the design team and their desire to embed meaning within the product. From a performance perspective, the Hummer X continues to emphasize serious off-road capability despite its conceptual nature. The combination of large all-terrain tires, advanced suspension systems, and optimized geometry ensures that it remains capable in extreme environments. The balance between size reduction and capability improvement is particularly important, as it demonstrates that off-road performance does not necessarily require increasingly larger vehicles. This is a key message embedded within the concept. Rather than pushing vehicles to become bigger and heavier in pursuit of capability, the Hummer X explores how intelligence, design efficiency, and modularity can achieve similar or even better results in a more compact form. This approach could have significant implications for future vehicle development, particularly in segments where size and weight are becoming increasingly important considerations. The origin of the Hummer X project also provides important context for understanding its purpose. Developed at General Motors' Advanced Design Studio in Pasadena, California, the concept was created in an environment specifically designed for experimentation and innovation. The facility brings together designers, engineers, and fabricators in a collaborative space where ideas can be tested without the constraints of production timelines or commercial limitations. This freedom is evident in the final concept. The Hummer X is not constrained by typical market expectations or manufacturing restrictions. Instead, it serves as a platform for exploring ideas that might otherwise be considered too experimental for production development. This makes it a valuable tool for understanding how future vehicles might evolve. Ultimately, the GMC Hummer X SUV and Hummer X pickup concepts represent a shift in how automotive design is approached. They move beyond the idea of creating a single finalized product and instead focus on building a flexible framework of possibilities. This includes physical modularity, digital adaptability, sustainable materials, and community-driven customization. While these concepts are not intended for production, their influence should not be underestimated. Many of the ideas presented in the Hummer X could gradually make their way into future vehicles, in more refined and practical forms. Automotive history is filled with concepts that began as bold experiments before becoming mainstream features years later. In conclusion, the Hummer X stands as a symbol of exploration rather than execution. It challenges conventional thinking about what vehicles are and what they can become. By combining off-road capability with modular design, advanced technology, and sustainable innovation, it paints a picture of a future where vehicles are not static machines but evolving platforms. Whether or not any direct elements of the Hummer X ever reach production, its role is already significant. It pushes boundaries, sparks conversation, and inspires new ways of thinking about mobility. In that sense, the GMC Hummer X concept achieves exactly what it was designed to do. It expands the imagination of what the future of vehicles might look like.